Hello. Happy Friday, everybody. Hi, it's Rachel here. I promise this is going to be a quick one because I've got things to do. But I just wanted to come on here, I think halfway to maybe brag. No, I'm celebrating something that I've just achieved myself, which I have had on my to-do list for about a month, if not longer. And actually, I want to give a shout out to Georgina, who actually said to me, who posted in my live yesterday and was saying, hey, can you share your affirmation cards? Share a link. And I have some real shame around why I hadn't been sharing them because there was something um, I had not published live anyway. It was something to do with the shipping. Let's just say it was a back end admin issue. And I hadn't sorted it, so I hadn't dealt with it, if you know what I mean. Well, when I saw that, I thought, oh my gosh, Rachel, there's this one thing you haven't dealt with. You got to figure this out. Hey, can you relate to me? Can you relate to this where you've got this one thing that's been on your list and it isn't going to be ridiculously hard, but it kind of is, but you don't really know how to do it. And so you just putting it in like overwhelm and you've been putting it on your too hard list. Well, there are things on your too hard list that should not be there. So I'm going to give you my number one hack of how in literally last night, within 24 hours, I basically got about 3 big things off my list, which have been holding me back in my business. And I'm only sharing this with you. I'm being really honest because I know that some of you have the same things going on. Now, I'm the first person to say delegate when you need to. Absolutely. I'm a big believer in delegating, hiring that VA, getting that tech person on side. Get whatever support you need to do. But there are some things, I'm going to be honest, there are some things that I believe as a business owner, you either need to know how to do yourself or it might be quicker for you to do it yourself. So there was this one issue I was having with Stripe. It was actually PayPal, not Stripe. And these platforms, they change their stuff all the time. And I just couldn't figure it out. And I finally was like, darn it, Rachel, just call your tech person and get them to deal with this. And then I was like, oh my God, by the time that I call them and then get a time with them and do this, I'm like, it's the same amount of time. So which one do you want to do? And I was like, I just want to get this done now. So what am I trying to say? I'm telling you, whatever it is that's holding you back in business, and it might not be that big of a deal, kind of like mine, it was just really a techie admin issue that I decided to do myself. Could I have saved myself lots of time? 2 weeks ago, yes, but today, no. So that was the decision I made. I hustled through it. Anyway, and there are certain times that you do need to say, how much money is this going to cost me for me to do this and figure it out versus getting a tech guy or a VA who can do this in 30 minutes. That's a decision you need to make. That's a decision every business owner needs to make. Some things I absolutely delegate and get off my plate because I can't be an expert in everything. You cannot and should not be an expert in everything because you're not actually, you know what it's going to do? It would burn you out, delete any creativity you have, and it means you can't be the visionary and the business owner when you're constantly working in it. But this is the dynamic I was working with last night. So I'll tell you what it was. It was a global shipping issue I was having to deal with of just setting up the shipping prices. And it was 2 different platforms I was having to deal with. So I overcomplicated things for myself without needing to. And also I was stuck in a little bit of perfection. No, I want the thank you page to look like this. No, I want it to be this. No, I want it to be that. And so I was spinning my wheels so unnecessarily. And I finally just said to myself, Rachel, what does imperfect action look like right now? How can I get this done where it's right and it's functional, but it may not be perfect, but you just need to get it out there. How can I get that done? And I went from there, and it was done within about 30 minutes. So that's not even my hack for you. That's just kind of background. So, but the question you need to ask yourself is, how can I get this done imperfectly, but right? Okay? If that means you can do it, then do it. Or do I need to put this over to somebody else because I'm spinning my wheels here and I can't go any further? That's the question an empowered businesswoman needs to answer, and that's the decision you need to make. The second thing is, how do you do this? Here's my hack for you. And I had to learn this because when I first started my business, I was so focused on the achieving and the go, go, go. I didn't have a lot of enjoyment doing it. And I decided to change that. And I had a coach who really pushed me in terms of how can you make this joyful? How can you make this experience joyful? And it may sound crazy to you. Be like, what do you mean? How can I get clients joyfully? What do you mean? How can I set up the systems joyfully? What do you mean? I'm like, what I mean is last night I sat down, had my little glass of wine, and I watched a show on Netflix that I never get to watch, but I was like, no, and I had it on the background, something I could kind of do. And I joyfully got the system together. So I wasn't just sitting there staring at my screen like, oh, this has to be done. I was like, oh, this is nice. Let's watch Kim Kardashian be interviewed by David Letterman on Netflix. Let's watch Robert Downey Jr., who I love, and I was like, oh, this is nice. And so I joyfully, I didn't give myself a deadline. I was like, let's just figure this out where you can. And when I finally got tired, I put it away. And then this morning when I woke up and went back to it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's pretty much done. You just need to do, and I'm done. So what does that mean? It means my book is now for pre-order. It means I can have my affirmation cards shipped anywhere in the world, and the book pre-order will also be shipped anywhere in the world. I've got those systems set up. It's done. And I'm also dealing with some last minute editorial issues, which I won't go into. But a woman who's made a decision is an empowered woman. So the challenge that I have for you today is whatever's on your list, I want you to look at your list and I want you to say, how can I joyfully achieve this thing that needs to be done right now? How can I joyfully make this happen? Because I know this one thing is going to push me forward. And you might be surprised. Don't get into overwhelm. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. Okay. Clients spin their wheels sometimes, and I'm guilty of that myself. But you are a strong, independent, empowered woman. So act that way. And if you're not sure what that action is, ask yourself, how does the empowered version of me react in this moment? What is it that I need to do today? And when I'm spinning my wheels, the first thing I do, I'll be honest, and that's happened to me twice today. Can I be honest? Where I was like, oh, so much to do. And I was like, God, what do I need to do? You know my list. He knows your list better than anybody. He's the best admin ever. And actually, he's the CEO. He is the CEO. I am the COO. Do you spot the difference? The CEO is the one who is the visionary. He's the one who knows where you're going. He's the one who has the future in mind. The COO is what makes things happen. So, and they answer to the CEO. Yes, I'm the CEO of Life on Her Terms, but actually, this was all born because God told me to. I felt called to do it. So if you're ever feeling overwhelmed, go to the CEO. Okay? It's not all on you. You get to co-create. You can actually have a functioning, systematic business that doesn't put you in overwhelm when you are so clear on what needs to be done. So you don't have to do it alone. So here's my hack for you today, guys. Happy Friday. Whatever it is you need to do, ask yourself, how can I do this joyfully? Maybe it's going to a coffee shop and figuring it out. Maybe it's, having some really nice music. I listen to classical music when I've got some real stuff I have to focus on. I'm about to put some scripting down and create an About Me page for a charity that I did some beautiful work with yesterday, which I'm really passionate about. So how can I joyfully complete this task? That's my question for you. That's my challenge for you. And I really hope that helps. So I want you to post below, what are you working on today? And how can you make that joyful? That's my challenge to you. I want to hear from you. It's not just me talking at you. So I want to hear what you're doing to joyfully accomplish today. All right, that's it for me. Much love. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.